Hello, everyone. My name's Angela Tobin, and I am the founder and executive director of Kinship Caregivers Connect. I wanted to hop on here to wish you all happy holidays, a happy new year. We put together a little holiday card from Kinship Caregivers Connect, and it just reflects on everything we've accomplished this past year. There's also some questions for you to consider in planning for next year and being intentional about what 2025 can look like. But the biggest thing I want to say is we're so grateful for all of the support for Kinship Caregivers Connect from our caregivers who show up every week and share so bravely and really provide that safe space to connect in that community. And also for our community partners who have come and given presentations, helped with our events. We really couldn't do it without our village. So I'm so grateful for you all. And I'm very excited for everything 2024 has brought, but everything 2025 will bring as well. So we have had a wonderful year together at Kinship Caregivers Connect. Whenever I think of KCC, the word that comes to mind is truly joy. Joy in connecting, joy in sharing. And even though we talk about hard things and we go through hard things, that place where you can say, okay, I have people who understand or people I can talk to so I know I'm not alone, how much a difference that can make. So we truly have had a wonderful year. We've had two in-person events, one in Ashland, Ohio, and one in Westerville, Ohio. And this is our kinship family celebration where we just come together. We have childcare provided by OSU volunteers who are so amazing. And we have food and just time to connect and be there for each other. These are kind of my favorite events of the year because we spend so much time online and then we just have that time to be in person, to hug and see each other. And it's just very, very special. We've also had some opportunities to share more about kinship care and advocate for kinship care. There's a picture of me, Darlene, and Yaya, who we presented at the Ohio Family Care Association conference about the needs of kinship caregivers and some advocacy suggestions of what can help for supporting caregivers better because there's so much that needs to change. And me and Sydney, who was our capstone student and now is on staff at KCC, went to the American Occupational Therapy Association conference and presented about the work of Kinship Caregivers Connect. So we've truly had a very special time in 2024, and I know we'll only continue to grow from here. I did want to put these topics together to show really how much we've covered. I feel like when we go through the year, month by month, day by day, you don't really realize everything that you've done or everything that you've learned about. So at Kinship Caregivers Connect, looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've really covered so many different topics. And we really, really, really couldn't do this without our community partners. So I will shout out some of our partners here who have come and given presentations. And we've been able to just talk about a lot of the different layers and topics that come up with kinship care because there can be so much. So we've had Ohio Can come twice and present about kinship public benefits, which is such an important topic and allowing caregivers to understand, what their options are and what supports are out there. We've had Dr. Roberson from Ohio State present on healthy eating for kinship families and some ideas for meal prep. We've had a presentation that we do every year on suicide prevention training by Mississippi State University, a very, very important topic to cover. We've talked about ambiguous loss and kinship care. One of our speakers has been Beth Tyson. She's a trauma expert and super amazing. We've gotten such great feedback on how important this topic and concept of ambiguous loss is for understanding ourselves and understanding our children and care better. We've also had Beth Tyson talk about navigating visitation and kinship care as well. We've had the Ohio Statewide Family Engagement Center with Dr. Barbara Boone and others come and share about engaging and advocating in schools and how you can approach that as a caregiver with some really, really helpful strategies. We've had Dr. Ashley Hicks come and talk about embracing grief, how grief can show up for us and in our families, and what are some strategies we can use to cope with our grief and move through it. We've had many different presentations on understanding trauma and behavior. Dr. Regina Hayes from St. Vincent's Ascension has come and given also many presentations on this topic. We've talked about skill versus will, and also how trauma can affect executive functioning as well. We've discussed the dangers of vaping and had a presentation with PAVE, Parents Against Vaping. That's very informative. And we continue to learn about trauma-informed parenting strategies. We've had Eyes Up Appalachia back this year to talk about human trafficking prevention, another very important topic. We've also had ABLE come and present about kinship guardianship and how that can be a legal option for caregivers. And I will say many of these topics and presentations have been recorded and can be found on our website. So if you miss these presentations but are still interested in watching them, please do check out our website. We also hope to continue to repeat topics that people are interested in. So feel free to let me know if you're interested in having a certain topic again. And ABLE is advocates for basic legal equality. We have had Sydney Pinder work with me at KCC. We have a background in occupational therapy, and we put together a series about caring for a child with special healthcare needs or a teenager, adolescent as well. So we came up with very specific trainings and also toolkits to go along with these. And what we covered was caring for a child with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, caring for a child with autism or an autistic child. We've also had caring for a child with sensory differences as well, and some sensory strategies that can be helpful. Disability Rights Ohio has been a great resource. They've come and talked about different services and supports available in Ohio for those with disabilities and some of the eligibility criteria and how to sign up for those services, including Ohio RISE program. We have had the Triple P program, Crystal Milner from Nationwide Children's Hospital. She's been to our group many times and really brought some really helpful topics, including raising resilient children, raising connected teenagers, positive parenting strategies. We've learned so much from their material and very grateful for their partnership. We also had an occupational therapy student come, and her name was Dr. Alina, and she talked about fostering life skills for adolescents. We've had presentations on gratitude, particularly around Thanksgiving and what gratitude can look like in day-to-day life and how it can be beneficial. We've had NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, come and share about supporting a family member with a mental illness and leading a discussion around ways to do this, ways to set boundaries, etc. We've had the Ohio Grandparent Kinship Coalition come and share about kinship advocacy, especially in the month of September. We were able to spread the word about an advocacy opportunity for kinship care. I've put together a presentation about self-care as a kinship caregiver, how we can think about self-care differently and why it's important. We've also had ABLE, advocates for basic legal equality, come and share about SSI disability benefit, who's eligible, how to sign up, answer questions around that. We've talked about executive functioning for children with Regina Haynes. Setting boundaries around the holidays, that was a very well-received topic because it can be such a needed strategy and thing to implement. And finally, we've gone through our strengths, the inherent strengths of kinship families series by Dr. Crumley again. Every time we go through this, I feel like we learn more, and there's always so many takeaways. So that includes covering attachment, legacy, identity, adaptability, and co-parenting. So in all, these are all of the topics we've covered in 2024. So give yourself a pat on the back if you've been able to attend any of these. Like I said, many are on our website as well. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, we've done a lot. And thank you again so much to our community partners. We could not do it without you. We've also grown a lot in 2024. I went back last year, looked at our goals for 2023, and we've achieved all of the things that we've set out to do this past year, which is so exciting. And just to see how KCC continues to evolve and grow from when I started it 5 years ago, it's truly amazing. So we have extended our support group times by 15 minutes. As our group's grown, we've wanted to have more time for discussion. So this has been really helpful. Something else we've done that we've gotten really great feedback about is using breakout rooms during meetings. So we'll have smaller groups where people have more time to share. We did put together a KCC member directory to give people ways to reach out to others in the group and connect outside of meetings. We've had 2 in-person gatherings, and thank you again to our volunteers who've helped with respite care. We've had 6 original trainings developed by Kinship Caregivers Connect, 1 new program. So kinship family well-being consultation provided by Dr. Sydney Pinder. And that is setting goals around your own self-care as a caregiver, setting goals around your child's well-being, and also setting goals on ways you can connect with the child in your care. So she uses her background in occupational therapy to provide some consultation and strategies there. And with that, we've also been able to have two new positions at KCC. So we have our kinship family engagement specialist, Yaya or Lenora Lumpkin, and she's been really amazing with helping to plan events, send out birthday cards, co-host and plan support group meetings, just keeping everyone connected and bringing that community together. And then Sydney Pinder, who's our kinship family well-being consultant. Some other ways we've grown is we've launched a research study through the CCTST grant. And this is in partnership with Cincinnati Children's Hospital, Child Welfare Research Lab, specifically Dr. Beal and her lab. So it's been amazing to be able to use this funding to really understand the impact that KCC can have for families from a research perspective. So we've launched a 6-month longitudinal survey for our support group members, and we'll have results ready to share sometime next year. So we've collected feedback for how we can improve, but we're also looking at how we may impact different health outcomes for families, including stress, caregiver well-being, child well-being, caregiver satisfaction in their role, caregiver social support. There's a lot of different things we're looking at. So we're really excited for this step of better understanding what our impact is, especially now that we've been, going for 5 years strong. And we've had 2 caregivers help as research partners on that project. We've also added to our caregiver stories. We've had Tangi share her story and put together a video if you're interested in just meeting some other caregivers in our group and hearing what their experience has been. We've really built a strong partnership with The Ohio State University and their students for our events. Currently, we have social work students and occupational therapy students who've come and volunteered, and the kids love them. We love them. They're always willing to come back. So it's been great to build that community together. We had presentation for conferences on kinship care. One of those presentations was Ohio Family Care Association, and just continuing to raise awareness and spread the word about kinship care in the community. And tons of resources uploaded to our website as well. And our website is kinshipcaregiversconnect.com. There's a little resource page you can click on if you're interested. We're excited for the ways we'll grow in 2025. We have a lot ahead of us still, and our next big step is transitioning to a nonprofit organization. As I said, I started this as a student. I never expected to grow the way that it did, but I think it really just speaks to the need for the supports that we provide. So this is really our next step in being able to grow our programs, grow our funding, and just be an organization that's truly here to stay. So we've put together an amazing board of directors. We plan to apply for grants and be able to fundraise and hopefully expand our programming. If you have any ideas or things to share around becoming a nonprofit, do feel free to reach out. We're always looking to grow our network, especially in Ohio. So we're very excited for this next step. And then we'll also plan to share the research findings we have, and I'm sure there'll be much more to come outside of this slide as well, probably things we can't predict right now, but we'll just keep going, keep the work up, and just again, like growing our community is truly what's most important for us. So keep continuing to show up. If you wanted to take a minute for yourself, I know life goes so fast. This year has gone so fast. I feel like it should be March or something. Like, I can't believe it's December. But sometimes taking these moments can be so helpful to see how far we've come. Like, for example, did not realize all the topics we've covered until I sat down and put that slide together. So there's so much we do in the day-to-day. There's so many ways that we grow, and we don't always take the time just to think about it. So this is just a question for yourself. Maybe you have a journal, you'd like to write it down. Maybe you just want to think about it. But these are some things, and thinking about 2024. So we had the, January through the winter. We had the springtime, the summer, the fall, now going back to the winter. I'm sure there's a lot that has happened and a lot that has changed. So I want you to think about, what is something that you've learned in 2024? What has 2024 taught you? So in addition to that, what is something that you'd like to leave behind in 2024? You're like, this does not serve me anymore. I don't need this. This is something I want to move past or work through. So kind of something you've gained and something you want to release or let go of. And feel free to pause the video, take your time to think about it and write it down. We had some really great responses from caregivers about when we did this in our support group, what they've learned and what they want to leave behind. So learning forgiveness, leaving behind grudges, learning boundaries, leaving behind toxic relationships. There's so many things to learn and leave behind. And it's important to sometimes just take time to think about that. But really appreciate all that you've done and grown over this past year. Looking forward to 2025, what is something you want to do? Is there something you haven't done yet that you want to try? Is there something you used to enjoy as a child that you want to bring back into your life? Is there some sort of self-care you want to try and do for yourself? Self-care can be so hard. One of our caregivers said, I need to do aggressive self-care. Like I need to put it in the calendar, book it. There's, even if I don't have childcare, like I will figure it out and I will do it. So it can be so hard to take care of ourselves, but it's so important to make sure we're able to show up for ourselves and for the children we're caring for and our family members. So I challenge you to think about something. It could be big or small. It does not need to take a lot of time, something you want to do. Something I'm trying to do and want to really get into in 2025 is just taking 5 minutes to myself in the morning, maybe putting a meditation on while I'm drinking my coffee, but just having 5 minutes of like being present and mindful before I open my computer or my phone. And also you can think about a word to represent the year. It's a way of setting a goal, but it's more of like an intention. So it's things you can bring in to your life in different ways. Morgan Harper Nichols, we use her work a lot because she is so amazing. She actually has 2 links here, and I'll link them down below too, of different words of the year. 100 or 50, there's plenty to choose from. But if you click on it, what I like about it is it also provides some different definitions. So, and it's words you might have not thought of: aliveness, authenticity, awareness, becoming, capacity. That's a really good one. All of these, connection. So feel free to scroll through, think about if any speak to you. Sometimes the words we like need are the things that we need. It's like not always the words we want to, but there's some where I'm like, okay, I really should like try and embrace this or work on this next year. But it doesn't have to be from this list either. You can think of something yourself that is not on here, but just an intention. And while I'm on here, I will show our website as well. So kinshipcaregiversconnect.com, and this is our resource page. So you can see all the different topics and you can find some of the different presentations. I also have a menu up here to make it easier to navigate. So this was presentations by the Ohio Statewide Family Engagement Center as an example. All right, back to the presentation. And I think when we think about wellness, it's important to think about wellness in different ways, not only just our physical well-being, but we are whole beings, and our well-being in one area can really affect our well-being in other areas. So it's really all connected. But I challenge you, like when you're thinking of maybe what are some of the things you want to try next year, making sure you're feeding all of these different areas of well-being. And also a fun way to do self-care that a caregiver in our group shared is a self-care jar. So this is really simple. It does not take too much. You just need an empty jar. And you'll take some time and think about what are your favorite self-care ideas. So you'll write these down on strips of paper, mix them all up, put it in the jar. And then every week you can pull something out of the jar and you'll have to do that self-care activity within the week. So it can be like a bubble bath, making hot chocolate in the winter, going on the walk, dancing like no one's watching. Maybe it can be something with the child in your care that you enjoy doing. So this is all very personal to you. And especially if you're having a bad day and you're like, I need a little pick me up, you can pull out your self-care jar. So that's an idea. And these are for our winter break. We will not have support group meetings from December 24th to January 2nd. We'll also be out of the office these days. We will return with our first support group meeting Tuesday, January 2nd. So I hope you all really have a special time with family over the holidays. I do know that sometimes the holidays can be hard. They can bring up grief, they can bring up different family dynamics. It's not always that Hallmark movie that we tend to think of with the holidays. So just know, you are not alone and we're here for you when we come back. Just do the best that you can, take it a day at a time, and really try to have some rest for yourself if you can. These are some affirmations that I'll read off as we go into the new year. So you can think about the one that you need the most. Normally, we say this together as a support group, but I encourage you to write it down and put it somewhere that you'll see. Affirmations, they really can change the way that we think, which can change the way that we approach situations, and they can just have a really big impact beyond just reading words on a paper. So these are all by Morgan Harper Nichols. We have the sun is still rising, and I am still finding meaningful and worthwhile ways to come alive right here. The sun is still rising, and I am still finding meaningful and worthwhile ways to come alive right here. I am not who I used to be, and that is a meaningful, beautiful thing. I am not who I used to be, and that is a beautiful thing. As you learn to fly, may you also learn to rest. Both will prepare you for the journey ahead. That's the one I need. As you learn to fly, may you also learn to rest. Both will prepare you for the journey ahead. And so I just wanted to say thank you and happy holidays. We're so appreciative, whether you're a community partner, whether you're a kinship caregiver, whether you're not even connected to KCC. We're just so appreciative to everything that you do for yourself, for the children in your care, for the community. Like I said, at KCC, we need our village just as much as anyone. I say not only do children need their village, but caregivers need their village too. So we cannot do any of this work alone. It's such a joy and an honor to do this work and to be connected to so many amazing families, amazing community. Like it just gives me so much hope. So I just want to say thank you. Happy holidays. This is our little holiday card. You can pretend you're opening it from us in the mail. But yeah, I just cannot be more excited for 2025. I'm excited for this rest coming up as well. But wishing you all Happy New Year, happy holidays. Know we are here for you. Thank you so much.